Okay, here we go. So yeah, and we have discussed a lot of things, and and helped clients who were in the corporate world but were looking at moving into and becoming entrepreneurs, and we have helped those clients, both of us, and we kind of came across similar things and similar issues. So we thought, okay, so this is something of an interest. So why don't we put together the webinar about that? Meaning, what does it take for people to not only think about opening up their business, but actually do that? And thinking and doing, you would agree, this is something completely different. So yeah, that's why we put this webinar together. But you all already have your businesses, so why would that be beneficial to you? I'd say because these are the things that we're going to be talking about. They are more or less universal, and we actually, every time we need to take a huge decision, every time we have like a big idea but not acting on it, we face those things. Hi Cindy, so great you joined us today as well. We actually talked about you, which is great. So anyways, if that's not your situation, you still can benefit, because we all the issues we're going to address today, they are more or less universal, so you can still take some good ideas and insights with you. um, Anyways, so yeah, before we go any further, let us just really briefly introduce to you. And so my name is Maria, and I'm a life coach, and I help people with their careers. I help people who feel stuck anywhere where they are, and I help them to either boost their career or help them to transition to their own business, or choose a different profession, or find another job.
Cannot vote for either in good conscience.
Okay.
Okay, let's hold off and let's think about it, because there's
Sorry, Cindy, can you please mute yourself because we can hear you? Thank you so much. Yeah, so that's about me. Chuck, over to you.
Yeah, so I'm Chuck Oxford, and I'm a small business consultant, and I help small businesses build structure into their business so they can innovate and incorporate best practices so that they can fulfill their dreams, that the reason why they're in business. So I help them create a bigger vision and and create a life that they really want to live and not become a slave to their businesses. So that's what I do. And because I believe that business owners should not be in technicians or employees in their business, and they need to be working on their vision. And that's what I do. I create that environment for them, get them to rethink what they're doing, so that they can live a more fulfilled life.
Yeah, I just want to add one couple of words about Chuck. He has been in the corporation, he has been in the business. So what I really like about him, he's not working as a consultant rather than a mentor. And
Yeah.
that's a great thing to have, having a mentor, that means a lot for the business. Anyways, let's move further. So we were thinking about, what are the intentions? Like, where do we start? Yeah, what are the main intentions for anybody who would want to build the business, who would want to open a business? And we have put a number of those reasons or intentions behind that. But overall, if we talk about that overall, um, that's the main intention, is to have a better life, to be more successful, to be happier, to be more fulfilled. And we all want that, right? And a lot of people actually think that if they have and if they own their own business, this is where they gonna get that. This is where they're gonna be more independent, they're going to get more freedom, they will be able to own their own time, their own life, they can have better lifestyle. These are all dreams that people do have and envision. But at the same time, it is very sad to say that there are a little percentage of the people who dream about that actually do that. So they put their dreams into actions. And we actually found some interesting supporting statistics here, that you can see, for example, in 2018, only 8.5% of the people actually started their business, although 100% wanted, right? So, and the major question here is that why is that happening? What are those barriers? What are those hindrances that people face that actually prevent them from fulfilling their dreams, from becoming entrepreneurs, or from taking other life-changing decisions that were meant to improve their life? And this is what we have come up with. Chuck, over to you.
Yeah, so our conversation today is about developing a realistic perspective on deciding whether you're going to move forward on making a decision to become a business owner or to buy a business. So whether you move forward or keep the status quo, both are about risk tolerance and overcoming fear. So we've developed here 7 barriers to success, 7 areas you need to think about that are hindering people from moving forward and making a decision. One is belief, that you do not believe in yourself, that you have poor self-esteem, and you're really unsure about your capabilities, when actually you are good enough. You have the capability to do this, and people just have limiting beliefs. 2 is boredom, that people are, because of boredom in their life, that they're not motivated by anything, they stay in their comfort zone. So so when you do success and want to go down that path, it's a step-by-step process. It's not fast-paced like an action movie. It's step-by-step, detail by detail. And so people get bored with that. And but it's such an important item to be able to sort out the detail and do your due diligence. 3, confidence. Here we find that people listen to other people, and people will diminish you. They always will diminish your ideas, your visions. And we suggest that you don't do that, that you don't let other people diminish you. You believe in yourself, and so that your confidence is there. And failure. And I think too many people here, they see failure as an end, not as a stepping stone. But failure here is not like one and done. It's failure can be, it's just that the plan you have is not working, so you just need to adapt to go around the detour, go around the bump in the road. So it's not total failure, it's just time to adapt. 5, comfort. This is, we think people are too into the comfort zone, and they're into short-term rewards and status quo, and they're into safety and risk avoidance. And this does not move you ahead in life. It keeps you where you're at, keeps you in the comfort zone, and excuse me, nothing grows there. So you can become stagnant if you don't want, if you're not careful. 6, focus. This is about distractions from your vision, distractions from your plans, and not creating a life plan, and not being intentional with your actions. You don't want to have your life just be adrift and blown by the wind wherever the day carries you. You need to be intentional and not chasing shiny objects. The last is fear, which the first 6 build up to this, the fear. And we believe this is the strongest barrier to people moving ahead. So Maria, can you share your thoughts on fear for us?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So, yeah, we do think that the fear is the major barrier, mainly because, you know, this is an emotion that comes from our subconsciousness, which is really hard to avoid. So, fear is always with us. The only thing we can do with it is to learn how we can recognize it soon enough so we can stop that from affecting us. But what are the main fears here that actually are stopping us? The major one is fear of unknown. So anything new, anything that we have when we step out of our comfort zone, it's unknown and it's uncertain. And when it is uncertain, we don't have a control over that. When we don't have a control over that, that means that's dangerous. And that could really be dangerous to our life. So fear as our safety instinct turns on and prevent us from going outside of our comfort zone. Um, there are other fears too that are very major here. There is a fear of losing everything, losing your comfort life, losing your lifestyle, and there is a fear of failure, like I'm not capable of doing something, or why would I start doing something if I would fail anyways? So why bother? Why bother doing anything? There is one more fear which is really huge, is being judged and rejected. Like if I take a life-changing decision, I start to change. What would my circle think of me? What would my environment think of me? Will they accept me, or will they reject me? And we're human beings. We want to be in the society. We need to have other people to communicate and to survive. It's also our instinct. So if we're afraid that we will do something that others will reject, then we will be left alone, and there is nothing more awful than to be alone, left alone, right? So all these things that are really, really stopping us from, and the major thing here is that we don't realize that even. We just have this feeling and we don't move. We get stuck and we stuck to our comfort zone. We also found some statistics here supporting that you can translate major bullet points into one of those fears. But here's the good news for you guys. Although they are very we can be afraid of that. Fears can really interfere our life, but fears, and although we cannot remove them completely from our life, they will always be with us. But we can learn to recognize them soon enough. We can learn to control them and take control over them, not letting them control us. And here's a couple ideas how we can do that actually. So if you actually are afraid something right now, if you feel that there is a fear that is stopping you from something, I just want you to think about it and just think about, what am I afraid of? Like, why am I not doing that? Why am I not taking that decision? What I'm afraid of? Just just think about it. Maybe if you taking notes, maybe write it down. um, Here's a little bit of a theory for you guys. So fear is an emotion. We feel fear somewhere in our body, and it is an unpleasant feeling. And this unpleasant feeling, this is our subconsciousness saying to us, be careful, warning, there is something uncertain there that might be dangerous. Why is that happening? Because when human beings, at the dawn of human beings, that was a very important thing to have, because life was very dangerous. You know, around the corner there could be a lion, there could be, I don't know, somebody, some other dangerous things, and we needed fear to survive. So that has developed into instinct. But as we have evolved, the real life dangers have decreased, but we already have developed our own instinct. So how does that work? It works that it is just projecting in our mind the future, looking at the worst case scenario. So basically, fear is our projection of the worst case scenario in the future. That is not the reality. That's here in our mind. This is something that we're just projecting. And because we have that safety instinct, we, out of all, million scenarios, we choose one that is worst. And we're afraid and we stuck and we don't do anything. But this fear is not real. It is just in our head. So what can we do to recognize that it is unreal, and that how we take control over that? There are several great questions that we can ask ourselves. So first of all, we need to recognize that we have this negative emotion. We have to ask ourselves, what are the worst things we're afraid of happening? Like with the business, with opening the business, that could be a failure, that could be rejection, that could be I'll go bankrupt, and other things. You can think of your worst case scenarios. And the next thing, what you can do is just ask yourself, so those things that I'm afraid of, are they life-threatening? If that worst scenario happens, will I die? Like literally die? I would assume that the answer would be no, right? Okay. Okay, so it's not life-threatening. That means the fear is not real. That means the fear is just our mental projection. So what do we do next? The next question we can ask ourselves would be, okay, if that happens, would that be a unique situation? Will I be the first man or woman on earth to whom that would happen? Would I be the first man or woman on earth who would go bankrupt? No. Would I be the first person who will fail? No. Okay. So I'm pretty sure that if you ask yourself that question, the answer still will be no, right? Okay. What does it mean though? That means that either I, in my past, or people that I know have been there and have survived somehow and have been back on our feet. So then the next question would be, what have I done before, or what have my friends done before to overcome that worst case scenario? Like how they survived, how did I survive? And as you think back, or as you look at them and think what they have done, the next question you can ask is that, okay, so what can I do in order not to make this worst case scenario happening? Like, what do I need to do to prevent that? So this is your plan A. And then the next question would be, okay, even if that happens, what would I do then? And that would be a plan B. And when you have those plans laid down, you know exactly what you're gonna do in the situation, like what you can do to minimize your risks. And even if that still happens, what are you gonna do to survive there? So now there is no uncertainty there. Now it's all clear, and now you are in control. So yeah, by doing that, you are reducing that uncertainty. First thing. The second thing, you are switching your right part of your brain that is responsible for emotions into left part of your brain that is responsible for logic. And when you take decisions out of the logical state, this is much more constructive decisions versus emotional ones, right? So what's important with the fear is that recognize that that's the emotion and then switch to into rational mode, rationalize that. And as you do that, you would probably feel that fear is gone. So when I ask you, when I first time ask you about the fear that, are you afraid of something, and think about that. And as you have been going with me through those questions, can you feel the difference? You can, you can share your thoughts in the chat box, or you just nod that I so I see that you yeah. And again, you're not alone. The good news is also, those who have taken those steps to open the businesses, 80% of them survived the first year, 70 survived the second year. So with those numbers, there is not much place for fear there, because there is one more thing here. It's like we always afraid to take the first step, but when we do that, there is no place to fear either, because we are in the problem solving mode. So our mind is concentrated on how we're gonna move forward. We are not thinking about fears anymore. It's another switch there. Okay, so we have talked about how you rationalize that, how you look at the decision from the logical point of view. And but the decision could be taken only when your logic or your brain is in agreement with your heart or your gut or your intuition or your emotions. So what I would like to offer you next is to do a little exercise that I usually do with my clients when they need to take a decision, to kind of connect the rational and emotional together, so you can take the very clear decision and very, balanced decision, so to say. And I do use this exercise a lot, and it has been proven to, show really good results. So I would like to invite you to envision two different scenarios. And for that, I would like to invite you to sit comfortably. So you might even want to close your eyes, because we're going to be doing some little visualization. Okay? Okay. So I want to invite you to envision two different scenarios. One scenario would be if you decide not to change anything. If you decide to stay where you are, and maybe not to open your business or not switching something somewhere, just keep the things as they are. And then the second scenario we're going to look at would be, you have decided to open up your business, or you have decided to change something that you're deliberating about. Okay, I would like to start with the scenario where you didn't change anything. So yeah, take a deep breath, close your eyes if you want to, and envision that you're looking into the mirror. And in that mirror, you see yourself 5 years from now, yourself who has decided not to change anything, who has decided to stay in the comfort zone, to keep the current lifestyle, to keep the things as they are. didn't take any major decision, a life-changing decision. So look closer at yourself 5 years from now. How do you look? What surrounds you? What are you doing? What are you feeling? Do you look happy, confident, fulfilled, excited, successful? You can ask yourself a question. So ask something important and listen to yourself 5 years from now answering you. What do you hear? And as you have this conversation, as you end your conversation, come back here to here now to us and just let me know that you have returned when you're done. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So now take another deep breath and see another mirror. Look at the other mirror and see yourself 5 years from now. You who has decided to open up your business or to take this major decision. You who has been bold enough and confident enough to go there and do that and risk it and succeed. You who was able to focus, who was not afraid of failures, who believed in himself or herself. So look at yourself 5 years from now, you who has taken that decision. How do you look? What surrounds you? What are you doing? What are you feeling? Are you feeling happy, successful, fulfilled, joyful? And you have a chance to ask yourself a question. So ask it and listen what you 5 years from now who has taken that decision, what you are answering you. And as you have finished, come back to here and now and let me know that you're with us. Okay. Okay. Awesome. So now you have those two mirrors in front of you, scenario 1 and scenario 2. What are you feeling? Which one you would like to choose? What would be your decision? And what are these little steps that you can take today or tomorrow or day after that will lead you towards that decision that you have taken? What are these little steps? Maybe 1, 2, 3. Think of those. What you can do already today to start creating your new reality? Just think of them and write them down. Okay. So you have come up with your own steps. Congratulations. That was literal coaching exercise that we just did all together with you. But we also thought about what are the important things and tips that you also might consider in order to make your decision a reality. And I would like to give a floor back to Chuck.
Okay, so you've now gone on and seen how it feels 5 years from now, whether you made a decision or not. And but in any case, you need to make your decision, yes or no, to move forward or not and stay in your comfort zone. And in any case, you as in the present, you're right. Each way you go is the correct way to go because it's about your ability to manage risk. So you always make your decision, but really you never look back and never become a remorseful buyer of your decision. So we recommend that you consider 7 issues in overcoming your hesitation or doubt by establishing a positive mindset with starting a business or buying a business. So we've identified 7 areas that will help you get a positive mindset and be able to make a clear decision on what you want and have clarity on the situation. So the first one is accept your past. This is about minimizing your limiting beliefs. The past is important, but it's really just a learning experience, and we have to realize we no longer live there anymore. We only live in the present and the future, and the past is just a reference library of your experiences. And there's a saying: "I did then what I knew best. Now I know better. I do better." And that's from Maya Angelou. Well, that's a very good saying because in the past you did what you knew to be best, but you're going to do better because of the experiences you had in the future. Second, reframe your story. This is cutting the cord from the past and letting go of your limiting beliefs and stories that are casting a shadow over your future and have no relation to your future. And often when you view yourself through the past, you're frequently, it results in a smaller version of yourself. When our true destiny demands that we have a bigger self, not a limited self. So this gives us time to pause. It creates a space where we can set up the success, thinking about the vision of the future, and gives us time so we can transform and inspire ourselves to move forward in life and really live the life that we really want instead of the life that currently exists for ourselves. Because there is a bigger self in your future. Because your best self is still ahead of you. And your future holds a much brighter energy than you can think of in today. So handle your present circumstances with resilience. Current circumstances and events are only temporary and are not predestined to determine the future, for sure. Intentional action today sets us up for the future. And if you're not intentional about your future, you're really like a boat without a rudder, and you're out in a boat without a compass. So what happens is you blow with the wind and you go wherever the wind takes you. And so you need to be intentional about your future and develop a life plan. Don't live life by default. So you need to develop the courage to move ahead and create momentum and live the life you really want. It takes courage, but it takes you being intentional. For embrace change. And you have to realize four things: that I need to change because I want a better life. I am able to change as there are no rules or limits in the future except the ones I drag from the past. And these are the limiting stories that you have about yourself and that other people tell you. That's what we say. Don't listen to other people. Don't let them diminish you. And the change will benefit me as it gives me the opportunity to build a more fulfilling, successful life. Change creates the momentum to strengthen my values and enhance the quality of my life and give my family and my friends and myself a better future. Because this is about leading by example. So the future is a blank slate. There are no rules or limits for the future success. Do not cling to these limited stories from the past. What we do today and going forward really matters. And we need to develop an actionable set of goals that are big, uncomfortable, and audacious. This is about being intentional and having the courage to follow your convictions. And so that you make a difference for yourself and the people around you and the communities you interact with. So that this will spill over to your clients, the marketplace, and your quality of life. 6, face the future with confidence. Don't let people's opinions control you. People's opinions focus on where they are at in their life's journey and where they think you should be in yours. No one has the skills, capabilities, capacity, or passion that you do, and no one else knows this but you, because nobody can see inside you. Nobody has X-ray vision, and nobody is clairvoyant into who you are. So you have to believe in yourself that you are good enough. So and also, you look at this and you say to yourself, well, I got to be perfect, otherwise I fail. No, there is no perfect plan. The plan you have will never be perfect because it's an ever-changing marketplace. So it's ever changing. You're always going to be adapting. It's like when you go on a flight in an airplane. That it looks like you're going from point A to point B, but in between, the pilot makes probably 50 or 100 changes to the flight plan, adapting for whatever's in front of them: air traffic, weather, turbulence. You know, so it's not an A to B situation, straight line. Never is. And so again, so imperfect action is better than no action and procrastination. Believe in yourself. Don't let others diminish you. And so I look at Maria's exercise and say, so how do you feel about yourself in 5 years from now? Whether you do status quo or you move ahead, boldly move forward into the future, like a Star Trek moment, right? So 7, preparation, and this is really key. This is where you can really minimize and reduce fear. By planning, self-discovery, and due diligence, prepares the facts and assumptions needed for a reality check to make good decisions and manage the risk before you get started. Fear diminishes as the facts and risks become evident. Preparation aligns actions with vision. Those who do not sugarcoat the present complete brutal reality checks and develop rigorous plans and execute them are in the strongest position to navigate the future and achieve success. So this is kind of our message, these 7 areas to overcome fear and feel comfortable with risk and be able to manage your risk. So keep in mind that any decision you make today on business ownership is always based on the best data and information that you have today. And you're always going to deal with the ever-changing marketplace and business environment. So you make your decision, yes or no, and don't look back.
Thank you, Chuck. Yeah, future is blank. It's your mirror and whatever or whoever you see there. And it's up to you to to take the steps to make this future real. So guys, yeah, that was our content. Now it's I would like to open up some time for us to answer your questions or to listen to your comments, and I will stop sharing for a while. And really curious to know what are the questions that you have, guys, and what are your insights on whatever you have heard today or have done today. So yeah, please share or ask or both. Yeah, JD.
That was kind of quick. I don't have a question, but just a comment that I had something else planned, but I got your text and said, I'm gonna check this out. I've already have my business, so I wasn't sure if I should join or not. But the information was good, and the thing that really made me feel so good about this presentation is that I'm not alone. So I'm a solopreneur. I'm 2.5 years into the business, but it's very, especially because of COVID, I feel like I'm starting over from scratch. And I feel like, oh my God, I've wasted 2 years. Can I do this? And it's just a common, I keep on hearing that it's a common theme that we don't have, the confidence or the fear to say we're going to get past this. And so it's these types of presentations that Maria and Charles, you're saying that give me that fuel to get me going again. So I'm really appreciative of your information.
Wow, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, the
Happy
hardest
that we
thing
were
for
able to-
small, yeah, I'm sorry. The hardest thing for small business owners is that they feel alone. And they need to reach out and talk to people and touch, because you're not alone. There are thousands of people in your situation. And but they're all out there feeling they're alone because they don't feel like they can reach out and talk to people. So we hope that we can encourage people to do that, because there are thousands of people, soulpreneurs out there that are in the same boat. And you need to reach out, collaborate, reach out and just call a business owner. I own a business for 13 years. And I can tell you, I wish I would have done more reaching out and just calling people, and just saying, hey, you're an entrepreneur. What's happening? I wish I would have done that more.
Okay. Your takeaway, right? Yeah, we all are in the same boat. We all experience all that turmoil, and it is hard. You have to figure out how you're going to deal with that, and yeah, collaborating and partnering and connecting, listening to what other people saying. You can find some really interesting ideas that you can incorporate as well, but also working with yourself is also a very important thing, because like you need to get up and start moving, and that's usually the hardest thing to do, right? Okay, thank you for sharing, JD. We really appreciate your feedback. Well, Melissa, Anthony, Cindy, would you like to share?
I'll say something. I mean, there's definitely a few takeaways. I think you know, I think I'm not alone here in saying that I'm like a multipreneur. You know, definitely interested in investments, definitely been interested in doing things like that for many years. You know, residual income, multiple income streams, those are all interesting. What happens is you get your focus gets in too many different directions. And this has definitely happened to me because I get really passionate about these projects. And one happened to me recently where like I have two business ideas. Like they're business ideas. One is pretty well cooked up. The other one needs to be in full deployment. And I think I think I've just gotten to this place where it's in a realm of it's in a technical kind of realm that I'm not very well versed in, if I'm honest with you. And that's where I need the help. And what I found was I started the one project like probably 7 months ago, right around COVID when it started. That one completely went on the back burner because I was so freaked out about it. I was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to find the support for this? And then the other one that just came into fruition is supposed to really work in tandem with the other. And now I'm in a complete, I need people like I'm gonna like flat out. And anyway, so it's interesting hearing the language around like if you don't get going, you can't get anything. You have no results. You have nothing to show for it.
Right.
And I'm in that point now where like I've already seen opportunities pass. I've already seen, things pass me by, and it's very aggravating. And I tell myself that because I don't know what I'm doing, but it's really that I haven't had enough nerve, I think, to just take it on myself. So it's interesting that we're having this conversation, but the encouraging thing about what you said was, this is what I heard. It's been done before. This is not a unique situation.
No.
Other people have been in the boat of not knowing stuff. So anyway, that's just a little comment and how it is fitting into my current situation.
Well,
Yeah.
keep in
Awesome.
mind our
Thank you for
statistic.
sharing.
I'm sorry.
Go
Okay.
ahead, Chuck. I just
Keep in mind our statistic. Actually, in 2018, 2 million people did start or buy a business. So there's millions of people that have done this. So you're not alone, and you're not the first one. So you're among millions.
It's when you're sitting there and you're it's kind of like, where do you start is more the thing. And I think in the technical day and age we're in, unless you're very proficient in different programs or digital kind of softwares, it can get like you're feeling like you're at the bottom of a hill and you're looking up and you're like, where would I even attempt that? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because I do feel like I'm going to put that other one, that newer one, I'm going to deploy that. The other one I think is going to have to be a little bit later when I can collaborate a little bit more closely with people, but I'm going to go for it.
The most courageous step is the first step forward. It gets easier after that.
Yeah, exactly. After the first step, there is no fear. You're
right.
in problem solving mode. You don't have time to be afraid. You need to solve it, right? Okay, thank you very much for sharing, Melissa. So Cindy, Anthony, do you have anything to say? So Cindy's writing. Okay. It's okay, Cindy. It happens to everybody. Go ahead, Anthony.
I was trying to read what she said too. It flashed and I didn't get a chance. Oh, okay. Okay. I think having the community is key. I think it kind of depends on people's personalities, because some people will either talk themselves out of doing things, and then you have the other end of the spectrum where people will just jump out the plane and then like, oh, did I check my parachute? It's like, I think we're good. Whatever. We'll figure it out on the way. And so meeting those personalities on both ends of the spectrum, and then you factor in doing a business, it's interesting, especially with doing all this networking and you're meeting all these different people in different industries and trying to figure out how do they get started in that. It's scary in itself. I mean, it's scary in itself, but it's also exciting. So I get the fear aspect of it. Sometimes it's just sometimes it can be like a knee-jerk reaction, like, oh, I wasn't ready for that, or I didn't really anticipate that. And sometimes it catches you off guard, but at the same time, I like it because it keeps me alert, keeps me aware, and and sometimes fear is good. Like sometimes fear can be a motivator. It's like, I need to do this because what other option I got? I don't want to stay in this situation, so I need to do it. Like I have to do something different. And then as you build confidence, you transition from I have to I get to. I get to interact with new people. I get to, build new relationships today. I get another opportunity to generate revenue instead of, oh, I gotta go and market today. Oh, I gotta go post something online. Cause I like I said, I used to be there because like I would not do anything on social media. And for those that know me, they know why I wouldn't get on and do a live video. And then to make that transition to actually doing the video and, getting, positive feedback, advice, hey, you might want to try this, or hey, matter of fact, it's funny that JD's on here because JD was like, hey, you might want to try looking at the camera. I know it's like human nature to look at yourself, but try looking at the camera lens. And I was like, I didn't even think about that. I was just, I didn't even think about it. And so, but had I never tried that, it wouldn't have popped up on JD's radar either. So, I mean, at the same time, by me doing that, it reminds JD, oh, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm marketing myself and what I do, because I have something to offer to the public. And so it kind of goes both ways, because I don't know how long people have been in business or, have been an entrepreneur, but when you hear somebody else's story, it kind of reduces that fear for you. It's like, I remember when I first decided when I was going to go into business, and it freaked me out too. I remember when I had to struggle and try to figure out that issue, or, letting a business partner go, so some of that stuff we may or may not never come in contact with. So it's just exciting to get in this type of community to where you can actually share your wins and your lessons. I don't even like to use the word loss as a failure. I look at it as a lesson, because if I don't look at it that way, then that's how you get into those slumps. Like, oh man, I suck. I don't know why I did this. I need to do something else.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing, Anthony. Cindy, do you have any couple words to share? Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Sorry, I have to keep my video up because I was running outside to deal with something, and anyway, had lots of people around. But anyway, great insights. Just really focusing on human nature and how we all experience life, and fear, and but I think one of the things that you guys mentioned is just to get in action. And that is because I think we get too much in our head. And sometimes we need to get out of our head and to get into action, because, we really can't be successful without failing, because failing is where we learn and discover more than ever if what we want with, you know, if what's in front of us is what we really want. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does. Thank you so much. It's like I always use this quote from Thomas Edison. Okay, now I know how not to do a light bulb in 1,000 ways.
Right.
Talking about failures. Okay, guys, thank you so much for sharing. I really would like to use a couple more minutes of your time before we go. First of all, if you would like us to share the presentation with you, please leave your emails in the chat box so we can send it off to you later. And we also wanted to say that, yeah, we do understand that whatever happens, everybody, you know, we cannot have a universal answer to everybody, but we do have some experience and wisdom and compassion to share with you. So if you are feeling that, you know, there is something more that you haven't just touched today, but you would like to discuss, we would like to offer a free 30 minutes consultation with us, so we can discuss your particular case and see if we can be of assistance to you. And you will get our contacts in the presentation as well. And we actually have prepared one last slide to share with you that actually explains why would you want to work with us. Okay. So I I did mention that having a mentor is a great thing, and we found some more statistics on that. The entrepreneurs who have mentors, they are much more efficient in their businesses, and businesses that have mentors, they have better ratio of survival, not only through first or second year, but in the long run. And why us? Because we've done that. We have been there. We do have an expertise in human resources, in business growth or business expansion, in assistance with startups. So we have plenty of things to offer in a gentle and mentoring way and coaching way. So we can come up with unique decision that is needed for you, tailored for you, customized for you, not a universal thing. Chuck, do you want to add anything?
Me?
You?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So what I would like to leave people with here is that I'm passionate about helping small businesses succeed and helping people get into business, just my passion. So I want to leave you with one thing that I keep on my office wall every day so I look at it, so that I never give up and never not believe in myself. So the saying is this: use your talents, skills, and energy to build your future and your wealth, or someone will hire you to build their future and their wealth using your talent, energy, and capabilities. So I look at that every day to remind myself that I am doing the right thing. I'm in small business, I'm an entrepreneur, and that's the right decision. And never give up. So I leave you with that.
Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing and just want to thank all of you for joining us today, for spending this hour with us, for sharing your thoughts and insights and pains, and that you have felt safe and trustworthy enough to share. And I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And it was great to see all you. And I really hope we're gonna continue being in contact and work together, collaborate, connected, and build the community so we can support each other in any way we can do. Okay. So thank you. Have a great rest of the day, guys. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll be in touch. And Melissa, if you want us to send you the presentation, don't forget to leave email in the chat box, okay? Thank you.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for spending the time with us today. We really appreciate it. And we hope it was a valuable use of your time. Thank you.
Okay, take care, guys. Hopefully,
Thank you,
see
everybody.
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye-bye.